Okay, let's talk about a word. A word that for a lot of us just makes our stomach drop. Accountability. It sounds like blame, right? Or punishment. But what if we've got it all wrong? Today, we're going to try and reframe accountability, not as a weapon, but as a path to healing and to growth. So, just for a second, let's do a quick gut check. When you hear that word, accountability, what's the very first thing that comes up for you? Is it a feeling of dread? Maybe some anxiety? Just notice what that is. Yeah, if your mind immediately jumped to blame or punishment or that heavy feeling of shame, or even this impossible standard of perfection, you are definitely not alone. For so many of us, that word is just tangled up with all of this heavy stuff. And that feeling, right, that weight, that's exactly why we need to start here with what I'm calling the accountability misunderstanding. We've got to unpack what we so often get wrong about this whole idea. You know, for so long, we've been taught to see accountability as a penalty. It's the consequence you pay when you mess up. So naturally, we learn to fear it. But that's a huge misunderstanding of what it's for, because its real purpose isn't about punishment at all. It's something else entirely. Okay, so if it's not about punishment, then what is it? Well, this leads us to a really, really crucial shift in how we think about this. It's all about choosing honesty over perfection. And this, right here, this is the absolute core of the whole thing. True accountability, it's not about having a perfect track record. It's never been about being flawless. It's about something so much more courageous and so much more human. It's about being honest. Honest about what happened, honest about the impact, and honest with ourselves. And this is where we have to draw a really clear line between accountability and its toxic cousin, shame. Shame is that voice that says, I am bad. See how that's a judgment on your whole identity? It just paralyzes you and keeps you stuck. But true accountability, it says, I did something bad. It separates the action from who you are. And that small shift, wow, it changes everything. Because it lets you ask the most important question. What can I do differently? But, you know, this whole process isn't always that simple. And that's where this next idea comes in. True accountability actually asks us to hold two things that can feel like opposites at the same time: responsibility and compassion. Just let this one sink in for a minute. I was unwell, and I still caused harm. It's so powerful because it's not an excuse. It's a statement that holds two profound truths at once. My own struggle was real, and so was the harm my actions caused. And this shows us that responsibility and compassion aren't enemies. They can coexist. You can have compassion for the struggle you were in, for the pain you were feeling, while also taking full ownership of your actions. It's never one or the other. It really has to be both. And it's also so important to remember that this journey isn't the same for everybody. Our own histories with things like mental illness, trauma, or being neurodivergent can deeply shape how we're able to show up. Now, this isn't about making excuses for harm, not at all. It's about building a more compassionate understanding of all the complex layers involved, for ourselves and for others. So what does this actually look like in the real world when harm has actually happened? Let's take a look from both sides of that situation. If you're listening to this and you recognize yourself as someone who has caused harm, maybe while you were in a place of pain yourself, I really want you to hear this. You are responsible for that impact. And this is a huge and, you are also deeply, truly capable of growth. Both of those things are true. And if you're on the other side of it, if you've been hurt by someone who just can't or won't take accountability, please hear this. Their inability to apologize does not make your pain any less real or valid. Your experience matters, your pain matters, and you are absolutely allowed to protect your peace. So where does all of this take us? Well, it leads us here. We can stop seeing accountability as this final judgment, this dead end, and we can start seeing it for what it truly is, a doorway to growth. Because real healing, whether it's in a relationship or just inside yourself, it's not magic. It actually comes down to a tangible skill, the skill of repair. And what is repair really? It's the simple act of showing up with truth, with humility, and with grace. So what does this path of repair actually look like? Well, you can break it down into 3 essential steps. First, name it. Acknowledge the harm clearly without any excuses. Second, face it. And yeah, this is the hard part. It means allowing yourself to sit with the reality and the discomfort of what happened. And third, and this is the most critical step, learn from it. Make a genuine commitment to do things differently going forward. As we wrap things up, I want to leave you with this question to carry with you. When you think about your own growth, your own repairs, can you shift the motivation? How can you approach this work not from a place of fear, of being punished or being seen as bad, but from a place of love? Love for others and love for the person you're becoming. Because that's the ultimate reframe, isn't it? Accountability isn't a weapon used against us. When we strip away all the shame and the fear, we find that at its very core, accountability is an act of love. Thank you for joining me today.